Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Dan Oweiler here, who's here on behalf of Sterling Financial. Well, welcome. Nice to see you again.
How are you?
Excellent.
How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was fantastic.
Stayed in town?
I did not. I visited my children up in Oregon.
Oh,
they
good.
have a farm up there.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep, living the farm life.
Yeah.
It was adorable.
Were they raised in Southern California?
Yep.
Oh, and
both of them got out of Dodge.
Oh my gosh! And it's working for them.
And it is working for them. They're working very hard, I must say. It's a lot harder work, I think, on a farm than it is anywhere else.
Yeah,
so.
well, good for you.
How about you? Good?
Yeah. We had some family over, and we got 3 kids in the area, so
nice.
We have I think we had 15 or so.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Were you in charge of the turkey?
I was in charge of the carving.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That's perfect. A good job.
Yeah.
So, Social Security. I think we've chatted about this a little bit before, and what I think is frightening for most people is it's supposed to run out at some point, and you ask yourself why, because we've been paying into it the entire time that we've been working. How is it possible that it runs out?
Well, you have to recognize that when Social Security first was established in the 40s with President Roosevelt, there was about 42 people for working to support one person on Social Security.
Right.
Now it's about 3.
3 people working.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so over the last couple of decades, that number has constantly gone down and down. Over the next decade, there's going to be 80 million baby boomers retiring.
Yikes.
Going from paying into Social Security to receiving Social Security. And I don't know that we're going to get 80 million workers replacing that.
Right.
And so the trust fund has been slowly depleting, and so they project that it's supposed to run out in 2034.
And that's not that far away.
Well, it's not, but that's under the assumption that they do nothing. Okay. And they're obviously going to do something. And that, to be honest with you, that number or that year, 2034, might reduce more because we're getting a huge cost of living bump this year.
Yeah.
That's going to draw more out of that fund.
Right.
And so, there's some things. People always ask me, do you think Social Security is going to be around? And I think that for people that are currently receiving it, I don't think that there's going to be any problems. But
right.
I think yours and my children, they're going to see some changes because
right.
Social Security has changed its eligibility age from 65 to 66. Now it's, if you were born after 1955, it's now 67.
Right.
So there's going to be some changes probably
right.
that take place in regards to what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And there's 3 basic things that you can do.
Right. So let's talk about, so the average Social Security payment this year, it was $1,641. So next year, it's going to be increased by 8.7%.
Correct.
Is that across the board? Like if you want to take it at 62, so will that increase as well, or is it only the one that's 67?
If you're getting Social Security right now, it'll go up 8.7%.
What if you're not and you're going to draw it next year?
Well, then your benefit is going to be based upon your earnings. It doesn't have anything to do with if you're not receiving it.
Oh.
Okay, it's only if you're receiving it.
Oh.
Okay, so that it's based upon your earnings and what age you take that.
Oh, I see.
We've talked about this before. If you start at age 66, you get what they call full retirement benefits.
Yes.
At age 70, that's the latest, but it'll go up 8% a year, guaranteed from 66 to age 70. So if you're getting $2,000 a month, you might be getting, $2,600 a month.
Okay.
When you retire at age 70. So it only applies to people that are currently receiving it.
Got it. So what can the government do to help increase the amount of money that's in there?
Well, there's some, you obviously can reduce benefits, which is not going to be, it's going to be political suicide.
Right, it won't be favored on either side.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to reduce benefits, so they have some options that they can increase the retirement age as they've done in the past. So our children may not have full retirement till 68 or 69, maybe even 70, depending upon what happens.
Okay.
And so they can increase retirement ages. That's one. They can increase payroll taxes. You know, you and I can continue making payroll taxes out of our paychecks go into the Social Security fund.
Right.
That's certainly an option.
Right.
Or they can do what it's called as a means-tested benefit. And a means-tested benefit is kind of like Medicare. The more you make, the more you have to pay. Well, the more you make, the less you'll get. Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk does not need Social Security, but they've paid into the system all this time, and they're entitled to it, so to speak. Well, they may come back and they say, you don't need this money. We're going to give it to Lisa, who needs it for her retirement. And so they may cut the benefits down on a means-tested basis. And what that is, we don't know, because they're just discussing that.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to be one or the other. I think it might be a combination of all three.
Right, right.
Reducing the eligibility for people that are making it, increasing taxes, and increasing the age. I think that it could be a possibility. The one last option is they could print more money, which just increases inflation and
well, they've already been doing that, so I don't think we really want that to be happening.
Right.
So there have been oftentimes people have been discussing, well, they've borrowed against the retirement fund like the government has. Is that true?
Well, it's not that they've borrowed it, that they've just taken it, okay? The Social Security fund used to be a separate trust fund that they couldn't get into.
I see.
And years ago, they moved that into the general fund. And once they did that, they had to act. The politicians saw all this money in the trust funds, and they wanted to spend it. And so they moved it into the general fund. And now it's a sub-trust of the general fund that they have been pillaging for a while.
And that will never happen. That will never go back the other way.
Oh, no, that's like going back to the gold standard. You know, I mean, they changed the gold standard in the 70s. Once they did that, it really accounted for our inflationary things, because the dollar doesn't have to be backed by gold now. It's backed by the promise of the U.S. government.
Right.
And so I just think that I don't know that the people that are currently receiving Social Security is going to have any problems.
Yes.
I think they're going to get their benefits for the next 20, 30 years or whatever it is. I think the younger generation, we're going to see some changes to do some things, because Congress is not going to start lowering benefits.
Right.
It would just be political suicide.
Right.
So they're going to either raise taxes or make it a means-tested benefit, or, you know, raise the requirement. My son, who is 35, 40 years old, whatever it is, you know, he's not even thinking about retirement.
Exactly.
And if they tell him, hey, you're going to have to be 68 before you can get Social Security, it's no big deal to him.
Yes.
But it is to you and I that are getting close to that age, and all of a sudden now those political voters mean more to them than the younger people. If we can impact the younger people, they don't even care at this stage in their lives.
Well, right. Although there might be some people who are on Social Security right now, or who are thinking about it, who may want to still leave something for their kids and may be relying on the Social Security in addition to their funds, yet they still want to have something left to give their children. So what do they do?
Again, that's the Social Security of current people. It's not the younger people that's going to be impacted.
Right.
So if they're trying to put that, you know, maybe they don't need their Social Security and they're just putting it away for their children, that'll obviously happen. And I don't think that that's going to impact that stage of it. I think it's going to impact the upcoming generation. That's going to run into problems.
All right, good. So we're all safe right now. We're
good. Depending upon, you know, I think the people that are close to Social Security right now, it's going to be more of an impact for working people. That I think they'll raise the taxes on Social Security, and they'll extend the qualification age.
Right. Well, good information. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here.
All right. We'll talk to you again.
All right.
Thanks. If you want more information about Social Security or about what Sterling Financial Advisors does, you can call them at 949-859-8900 or go to sterlingfa.com. We'll be right back.